The Show Me the Money on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is presented by WynnBET. WynnBET is now live in Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Tennessee, and you guessed it, Virginia. From boosted same-game parlays to live in-game odds, WynnBET has what you right there listening to this need to win. Sign up today, bet $100 and get $100 free bet at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBET. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET. State restrictions do apply. Of course they do. We're also brought to you by our mini helmet contest. So cute. The Sports Gambling Podcast mini helmets are now in the store. We're giving one away for free. So just go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/helmet. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/helmet. And it never ends because football bingo is back. You asked for it, you got it. This time for the NFL Christmas Day slate, free to play, and every bingo gets a $100 SGPN gift card exclusively on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network app. That's all I got for you right now.
My grandma's two favorite things, football and bingo. I'm just sad she's not alive to see this.
But she was buried with a mini helmet, so.
Yes, and she was actually buried at the SGPN offices.
Oh, that's great. That's the dream.
Guys, welcome to the show. This is the Show Me the Money, and we talk about movies and lots about what's going on with Pat. Pat's had a rough time, and we talk about it. Get
me through this. Get me through it.
Guys, we're your guide to gambling on the movies. I'm one of your hosts, Nick the Father Turner, and the other two hosts are collectively known as the BO Boys, but individually they like to introduce themselves.
Yeah, I'm Pat the Hat Stango.
I'm Clayton Speech Kings Gumbert.
And guys, this is the show. We're already in it. I'm sorry there's not more enthusiasm.
I'm psyched. I mean, listen, I just saw Avatar 2, Avatar Way of Water just yesterday. Clayton and I, the BO Boys, went to see it.
I saw it on Thursday night.
Okay, so this is not our movie of the week.
High frame rate.
You saw high frame rate all the way through, or certain parts in high? Okay.
3D
high frame rate. 3D, IMAX, high frame rate.
Yep.
So it's only high frame rate during specific parts of the movie because Cameron knew when it would look good and when it wouldn't. So he's a technical master. What we're getting to is, does this thing sweep the technical categories, right?
Yeah, well, all right, why don't we start with a little news then, since we're already talking Avatar Way of Water, and the short list for some of the Oscar technical categories came out. So what that means are they narrow it down to 10 possible nominees. It's going to be narrowed down to 5 actual nominees out of the short list. But this does give us a little look into what movies maybe have an upward or downward trajectory for the Oscars. And if you look at the visual effects category, 10 films were nominated. Quickly, I'll run through them. All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar Way of Water, Batman, Wakanda Forever, Doctor Strange, Fantastic Beasts, Jurassic World Dominion, Nope, 13 Lives, Top Gun Maverick. And guys,
13 Lives. Yeah. Oh, good luck.
Well, you know what? It's in that 10. And a movie that's not in there, something that we think is a big favorite to win Best Picture, or at least a big contender. Everything Everywhere All at Once did not make the shortlist for VFX, and Avatar Way of Water did. Nick, you seem to think that's not a big deal.
I don't think it's a big deal because it's not trying to have the most incredible visuals. It's a low budget movie. Their stock and trade is not special effects. It's costume changes. It's makeup. It's real life. Boots on the ground, movie making, and I respect it, and I think a lot of the Academy members are going to respect it as well.
Okay. Clayton, do you think that we could glean anything from this Oscar shortlist? Is Everything Everywhere All at Once in a little bit of a worse spot because it's not going to get a VFX nom?
Of course, because I think if you are a movie that wants to be a Best Picture, you want to be nominated for as many Oscars as possible. And the fact that this is a multiverse movie where there are effects. I mean, we were talking before around the water cooler about Ex Machina. That was a small movie that had effects, and it won. And of course, it wasn't going to win Best Picture, but I think this is bad for Everything Everywhere All at Once, that it's not nominated for this. That seemed to me like it would be a slam dunk category for it, and it's not. Now, it is shortlisted in Best Sound, which is good, but that visual effects thing
of the movie,
that is not good.
Visual effects, did you think should have been nominated?
I'm sorry?
What special effects in the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once did you like and thought should be nominated?
It's not about what I like. What I'm saying
what did you think
the Academy
was not nominated? What did you think they were trying to do that they failed at to not get a nomination? What my question is why do you think almost zero movies that win Best Picture are nominated for Best Visual Effects? I just don't understand why it's important.
Well, when you see something like Maverick, which was all practical effects, I mean, that got nominated. That boosts its chances. Obviously Avatar, The Way of Water, I think if that doesn't win, this all was moot in the sense of like who's going to actually win, because I think Avatar is almost a slam dunk. But All Quiet on the Western Front, that had effects in it that weren't necessarily like in your face. For a movie where they cross dimensions, they have hot dog fingers, they turn into rocks. Those are all effects. And if the Academy wasn't excited by those, it makes you question if they're excited about the movie in general. I'm just saying, if we're saying from, is it a plus or a minus, it's a definite minus. Now, is it going to really affect it? I don't know, but it's not a good sign or a neutral sign.
They had two multiverse movies that they could have picked in the effects category, and they went with Doctor Strange and not with Everything Everywhere All at Once. So, and Dumbledore got nominated. I
just can't believe that you're equating the two. Like, I think about those other movies, and I think that they're all about like putting their fingers out and like zoomies come out of their fingers. And then like a big
they
rock
turn into
explodes.
hot dogs in that movie. Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah, but
there's so many effects in that movie. It's not a small, quiet, like everybody in one room. Like it's not The Whale. It's not like that. That's the thing, is like it is an effects movie, and they didn't. It's not going to get nominated. So
I think
it's
bad. A costume and makeup movie.
Well, let's see.
Did the shortlist come out for costumes and makeup?
Let's see right now. I'm not seeing
they're one category now, right?
So makeup and hairstyling.
Oh, makeup and hairstyling
is a category that got shortlisted, and Everything Everywhere All at Once is not in that.
Okay, so then
Elvis
bad,
is.
then.
Sound the alarm, Clayton. You got me. I'm on your side. Nick, I don't like it.
Are you now think that is bad?
I think that is bad.
Okay. Yeah,
because boy, that's just makeup and hair.
That's makeup and hair. It's not costuming, but costuming, I'm not sure if they're gonna. Is the hot dog fingers makeup? Is it costuming is it effects?
It's not about that costume. It's not about the hot dog fingers. It's about the 18 different dresses that Michelle Yeoh is wearing in a single 1 second of film.
So that has not been shortlisted yet. I do think it's hard to settle this dispute, and I love having this kind of high stakes dispute on our show, because it shows this is as important as sports. The fact that we're arguing this loudly shows that awards gambling
also, we're arguing
is as big as sports.
About how in first place we think the same movie is.
Right. Because we all think right now it's kind of in first place, but that's the whole point of all these precursors.
But I did watch Banshees of Inisherin, and we're going to talk about that later.
Yep.
I feel like since seeing that movie, a lot of things have been crystallized, but I'm not going to tease it too hard.
Well, that's
you
our
saw
movie
it a long time ago. You never knew a life without it.
No, at some point, but I was in a coma. I was in a coma for most of my time pre-Banshees, and happily so. So most of my life is post having seen Banshees. Anything else that we glean from the short list? I mean, I'll say the only things I'll say is it's good for Maverick, and it's another little nice shot in the arm for Avatar: Way of Water as it opens. And just sticking on Avatar, since we all did see it, I mean, it definitely should be our movie of the week at some point soon. But just first reactions, Nick, going to you first. Way of Water, does this feel like a contender in any categories? You know, a contender in Best Picture or Best Director coming out of your viewing of it?
Hell no.
Hell no. Okay.
No, not close.
Not close. Okay. Because Cameron basically ran second when Avatar 1 was up for the Oscars in 2009 or 2010. He lost to his ex-wife. And
the shame of that is we'll never leave him.
And he won't get a chance to win a rematch because I don't think she has a movie this year. But you don't think Cameron is a contender at all for Best Director?
So when you say he ran second, in that year in 2009, he lost to the Superior Hurt Locker.
Yep.
You're saying the prognosticators?
Yes. Well, I was never given the tallies.
That's the same place Anthony Hopkins was in,
right?
Second place. So they were both second place. Anthony Hopkins got first place. This guy could have gotten sixth place. We don't know. But
he was definitely the favorite, and he didn't win that first time. I mean, I'm kind of in the same boat. I don't think Cameron is someone to really put any money on at this point, but I do think there's a good chance he sneaks in there and is one of the 5 nominees. I mean, now, Clayton, you saw Avatar: Way of Water yesterday, having never seen the first Avatar, and you're one of those classic cases where when the movie was over, you basically wanted to continue living in Pandora. You loved it.
Yeah, I mean, what I will say is seeing it in 3D high frame rate, I mean, it definitely is such an experience that you can't get with other movies. And I think it was like a great technical achievement. And like we could go into, we're not critics, we could go into story beats and all those things, but really what he made was something that was so immersive when you see it in the correct way. Do I think he deserves Best Director nomination? Definitely. Will he get it? Probably not.
Okay.
But I think it's going to be a contender in the sense that the first movie got, I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, I believe 9 nominations, right?
Okay.
And I feel like this is going to get a similar amount, maybe 8 because he won't get Best Director nomination, but it's going to get so many different nominations under the line that it is a contender. I mean, it's not going to be one of those things where it has no chance because people are going to be talking about this movie for the next couple months.
Yeah.
So it could get some momentum. But again, I don't think that Cameron is going to win. He got his with Titanic. I don't agree with it, but I think he probably will miss out on a nomination.
All right. Well, this will be a movie I think is going to be our movie of the week sometime soon. It's a huge blockbuster. I think it's going to possibly end up being the biggest box office movie of the year, surpassing Maverick. We'll see. But yeah,
I think Maverick has a better chance to win Best Picture than Avatar does.
Yes.
Yeah, I just hate it. I makes my skin crawl when you guys say the words Top Gun, Maverick, Avatar, Way of Water.
Well, they're all different movies, though.
When you say sometimes I think, are they talking about Banshees? But no, it was Way of Water.
So you're so swayed by like your feelings.
No, I'm swayed by the fact that these movies don't win. They just don't win. They just don't fucking win, and they're not going to win. They don't win Best Picture. They don't win Best Director. That's just a fact, and I don't consider them.
Well, Cameron won Best Director.
For what movie?
And
Titanic.
And
Biggest
Titanic
movie of all time.
One of these movies. This movie is a fucking animated movie, and I do not know why it's not in that category.
Oh, there's enough human people in this. The Tarzan boy is a human the whole time. He's never
human.
animated.
Yeah, I would say
Boy
like
is human.
3% of the movie is not animated.
Edie
Spider doesn't
Falco,
want to be human.
yeah, he'll be animated by Avatar 5 for sure.
Edie Falco is only in 45 minutes of that movie, which is 1% of the total runtime.
But those 45 minutes are huge.
The dude from Debs and Hottie or Naughty is in it. He's one of the scientists.
What if what if like 10 minutes out of fucking Strange World,
right?
It was just like just shot just with live actors.
It could
that
be.
not be an
Nobody's
animated movie
so
anymore?
It's possible.
Yeah, we can't. None of us could confirm that.
Well,
Strange
a lot more
World
people
doesn't
can
have blood.
confirm it than can confirm what goes on in the menu. I'll tell you that much.
Wow, menu is grossed more than Strange World, so there can be. It is. Yep, that is how badly Strange World has
kids'
bombed.
ticket.
That's not true, Pat. But it's too close. It's very close.
It's
yeah,
going
you
to be.
Just said the opposite on your podcast.
It's going to be possibly by the time this airs, which will be 5 months from now. The menu will have outgrossed Strange World at the domestic box office. It is.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's already
awesome.
outgrossed audiences. Am I right? I haven't seen it.
Listen, neither of those movies are getting nominated, except Ray Fiennes maybe could sneak in with Best Actor.
Well, he already got nominated for Golden Globe, so he's in our world.
Yep, he's in it. So, do we want to move on?
I think we need to do an ad. I think Nick needs to do an ad read.
Oh, sure. Well, I love doing ad reads, and I thank you for reminding me because I love doing them. WinBet, that's Daddy, is the official online sports book of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Have you heard of that network, gentlemen?
I love it.
I love it.
All right. That's positive. 2 thumbs up. WinBet is active in a bunch of states, and there are tons of ways to win, including live betting and same-game parlays. Plus, for the hashtag Deegans only, which is a reference I don't understand fully. I think it might mean degenerates, like degenerate gamblers.
Oh, did you? Oh, that's great. You gotta if you own it, then it can't be.
I've listened to enough of their podcasts that I know how it's pronounced.
Yeah, it's probably a degenerates thing, and I think that's great. You own the phrase; it can't be used against you.
Great promos, odds, and payouts are happening right now at WinBet. Ready to play? Sign up today to receive a special offer. I love the copy. I mean, someone out there, they got a genius and they got to make copy for a living. What could they be doing? Bet 100, win 100. Limited to state availability. There's so much to choose from. All you got to do is head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/winbet so they know we sent you. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bet today.
Great copy, Nick. And you know, the guy who wrote that, you know what he was doing? He was making copies.
Yeah. So the highlighted is a must read. And then there's this section under it that's not highlighted that says must read. So maybe I'll read that too. Offer subject to change. Terms and conditions at winbet.com. Must be 21 or older and present in the state where playthrough WinBet is available. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. Back to you, Pat.
Pat, can we talk about somebody who is going to be nominated for an Oscar?
Sure. Who? Tell us.
Austin Butler.
Yes.
Who hosted SNL last Saturday.
Yeah. Saturday Night Live, because listen, these degens, maybe they don't know what SNL stands for.
It's Deegans, buddy. Come on, get with the network. You're already the only guy in New York. You're the only guy in the network with glasses. You're the only guy on the network that can pee straight out of his dick.
Oh, yeah. No curvature, unlike everyone else at this network.
Wait, I'm in New York.
Yeah, but your dick's weird.
It's true. It's very weird. Yeah. That's
so
a strange
Saturday
world down there.
Oh, yeah. What's on the menu?
It's not on the menu. Yeah.
Not on a lot of ladies' menus. Let's say that.
Let's talk about you know who is Austin Butler?
Wow.
He's on all the ladies' menus.
Wow, he's gay.
Okay, so I don't know how to respond to that.
Why would you?
You're right. I shouldn't. I'm not going to. So he did a monologue, which is like a speech.
His dick's like a monologue.
That's true. There is only one penis down there. I think
Not like your penis, which is kind of an L.
This monologue went a long way for his chances because he was funny.
Yep.
He was sexy.
Yes.
He was heartfelt. He talked about his mother who had passed away and choked up.
Yep.
So he's going to get so
Testify.
many people. He did a great job also on the show. That goes a long way. But the monologue showed you give this guy a trophy, he's going to stand up there and he's going to melt your heart and he's going to make your panties / your boxers wet. That's what this guy's going to do. And that's going to go a long way with Academy voters.
Yep.
Let me tell you that.
He's going to give you wet faces and wet lower places. And that makes a great speech. The guy is charming and he's got a dead mom, which he used to great effect on the SNL monologue. And I'm sure he's going to use that dead mom to great effect if he wins a Golden Globe, if he wins a SAG, if he wins an Oscar. I think that dead mom is going to do a lot of work for him. And
he needs to ride that dead mom like Paul Dano did in Army
Harry Potter. Sure.
Yeah.
Swiss Army Man.
In Swiss Army Man.
Yeah.
So the farts, because that's
farts.
lowbrow.
No, he ain't doing the farts. His dead mom is staying dead and she's pure emotion. I agree. I think the SNL thing really helps his chances. It's the equivalent of winning an award and giving a great speech. And he did all these different characters and people loved him. And he sang a goodbye song to a cast member and just a lot of quote unquote viral moments coming out of it.
I got a question. I'm sorry I can't listen to this because I don't know anything. I need to ask a question.
Okay.
How many people were had lines in his monologue?
How many people were headlines?
Yes. How many people had lines in Austin Butler's monologue?
It was truly a monologue because he was the only one who had lines in it.
Solo.
There were no.
Okay, that answers my question. This is impressive.
Yep.
There were questions from the audience. Huh?
If the number of people directly correlates to, how much your star has risen.
Yep.
As a performer,
he gave a
you
speech.
Get Nancy Kerrigan in there. You need to ask some questions.
Yep, exactly. This was not a Nancy Kerrigan situation. There weren't writers pretending to be audience members.
Yes.
There weren't cast members who came out and gave him quote unquote advice on how to do SNL. There wasn't a drop by walk in from Jason Sudeikis or Fred Armisen or some other cast member who never wants to leave. It was pure Austin Butler, him looking into that camera, telling America who I am and why I'm going to win the Academy Award. So I think this was a big step up for Austin Butler. And again, he's a guy to put some money on in these best actor categories that you could bet in online, which I mean,
let's talk about it, Pat.
Yeah.
Let's talk about where you can bet, what you can bet on. Last time we got all hopped up because BetUS added Golden Globes lines.
Yep.
But what else happened? Sadly, Bovada lost Academy Award lines.
So is there nowhere to bet on the Academy Awards? Nope, there is, because BetUS
has come to the rescue yet again. And my God, the amount of things you can bet on with BetUS has exploded. Pat, you can bet on the Oscars.
Oh,
Pat?
Yes.
You can bet on the Critics' Choice Awards.
Whoa!
Clayton.
What else? Yeah,
Clayton, give me something else you think we might be able to bet on.
Oh wow! Did you already mention the Golden Globes?
I didn't.
Can we bet on the Golden Globes?
We can bet on the Golden Globes, and you know what? That's not it.
What else?
Oh, sorry. I want to get my own, because you guys got yours, and I wanna go. Like,
okay, so
all right, an old guy who doesn't know what you guys are talking about.
Huh?
They got the Independent Spirit Awards.
Okay, so here, because of course we're the experts. We're telling
and the
people
Golden Raspberry Awards, but those are stupid.
No, well, do not put a penny on the Golden Raspberry Awards. They're a terrible organization, and who knows who's going to win their BS awards. I would also say, though, I would not put any money on anything Indie Spirit related. I do feel like that one is just too all over the place to be worth putting any money. I mean, do you guys disagree? Are you going to put Indie Spirit money? No, I don't disagree,
because at that point, when that award show happens, like, you don't need to scratch the itch. There's so many other award shows happening. You're not even going to care.
You need to let it guide you to bigger fish is what you do with that. You watch it, you see who won, and you use that as knowledge to make better bets.
I'm a BAFTA guy. I'm putting it all on BAFTAs.
I would put some money on the BAFTAs because, I mean, those seem more likely to correlate with the Academy Awards than this Indie Spirits is just going to be such a shit show. But it'll be fun to watch.
I wanted to talk a little bit about my best actor math that I've been doing. Pat, I told you about this last week over text, possibly. But I'm hot on Bill Nye. Sure, I've got a lot of money riding on him. Over $600 as it stands.
Okay.
Not that I put on it, but that I stand to win.
Right.
And I was looking at past best actor winners. And currently, I would say in the last 12, 15 years, we are on a pattern of either every other year or every third year. There is a British Best Actor Oscar winner. And we are on a year I believe is a British year.
Okay, because last year was Will Smith is not British,
right?
And he won last year.
It was Anthony Hopkins, and then 3 years before that was the last British winner.
Okay,
so I think it's this year.
Okay,
which would mean that the front runners in that theory are Colin Farrell and Bill Nye. I
love where you're going.
Banshees is a sequel, so I don't think it's as eligible as Bill Nye. Bill Nye wins.
So just one clarifying thing in this math of yours, we're counting Irish as British because Colin Farrell is Irish, but I agree, Irish is British.
Yeah, I mean, that's not even the disqualifying thing, but that adds to it. Sure, I'm putting that in the theory.
I think that counts because I think British is possibly a catch-all.
Yeah, like even Jeffrey Rush is British, I think.
Yes, Jeffrey Rush is Australian, but he's British, 100%.
Yeah,
he's British.
Yeah.
Because I think most people,
if you have an accent but you speak perfect English, you're British.
You're British.
Yes.
So Kate Winslet is British, right?
Well, she is British.
Is she really British?
Yes, she's really British.
Okay.
She's the most British, but also Nicole Kidman is British.
She's British.
Also,
yeah.
I do think Irish and Scottish is British, possibly.
Well, they're UK.
The larger,
Scottish
Great
people
Britain.
I don't think want to be called British.
Look, I'm not going house to house here. I'm just saying what won't get me hit in the pub.
Right. Which you're always at.
My pub mates listen to this program.
Do they? How do they find it?
Yeah, there's a guy with a mule who goes house to house playing it on the back of the mule.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, they live in Van Nuys.
Yeah, so I think Colin Farrell being British for the purpose of Academy Award consideration does keep him in there as one of the big favorites. So do you really think Bill Nye for Living, a movie that has not really come out yet, and when it does come out, no one will see it, is he a legit contender? I mean, because I do think he's probably running fourth.
I think people look at the current slate and they think this is absolutely disgusting. I know that Colin Farrell took ecstasy in the early aughts. I know that. And he cheated on his girlfriend. And he had sex with so many beautiful women. He did a bunch of drugs and he had sex. And then in the mornings, he would go to his film shoots. And then he would win awards.
Yes. What a great life.
And I don't think people like that.
They don't like that. You don't think that's aspirational?
No, and Bill Nye, he's so Christmas. He's recognizable in this season. And people are voting for Christmas, and they're like, guess who really loves Christmas? It's Bill Nye.
But Christmas ends way before the Oscar voting begins is the problem. I do think if Christmas ran all the way through the end of February, it could definitely help Bill Nye there.
I mean, the question becomes, is he the sort of beloved, we want to coronate this man before he kicks it sort of guy like a Christopher Plummer? I mean, is he in that bucket? And I would say no. I don't think he had. I mean, he may be a nice guy. I don't know him. He may be well liked on sets, but he doesn't seem to have the cultural sort of, this is a guy that we want to see get an award before he dies. I don't see him as that. I mean, and the Academy has a very diverse now group that are, or more diverse group that are voting. They're more they're more British, let's say, right? So it's a possibility that I mean, when you go Hopkins over somebody like Boseman, like they did, I mean, that shows something. Boseman's a very American guy. And so, although Hopkins is he's looked at one of the best actors ever. So I don't think Bill Nye is in that conversation. That's where he would win. And I don't see it.
I think Bill Nye is in the Richard E. Grant category of actors, where Richard E. Grant got that nom for the Melissa McCarthy Can You Ever Forgive Me, and the nomination was the win. You know, it's basically allowed him to go to all the parties, to get his photo taken with big stars, you know, to get all the free dinners you get when you get an Oscar nom. So I think that'll be Bill Nye's reward. He'll get the nom. He'll get the free dinners. He'll get all the photos. But I don't think he is a serious contender to win. So someone in that Best Actor race that we've talked about a lot, I think we should touch on quickly. The Whale continues to expand wide, and it's not getting great critical reviews, and it's getting some more. I think now as people see it, we're seeing some backlash to it, specifically on the way it treats heavier people. Is that the term? Heavier people? And
a true voting body, a true giant caucus in the world.
Okay, well, let's because of course we only care about any of this in terms of how it affects Academy Award chances. Does the sort of anti-heavy people bent of The Whale matter at all? Nick, you seem to think that there
as
aren't
a heavy
huge
person, I feel like I can talk about this, and heavy people do not identify that way. That is not a category people want to put themselves in. The people that identify as fat and are champions of the cause and are vocal about it are public personalities that use that for it's the way they make their living.
Okay.
You told me some names of some people who had come out against the movie, and these people frequently do this for that cause. I am fans of these people, but they get irate anytime this subject is brought up, and you can't ever get it right. But I do not feel like there's a giant group of people. It's not like like a race of people. It's not like I don't know, karate fans. I don't know.
Okay.
People love karate. It's something you actively love. Nobody loves being fat unless you get Twitter followers from saying it.
And do you think that is a big part of the Academy Award voting block? Probably not.
Is what?
Is
fatties?
Sure.
They had to have gotten cast a few times.
Okay. So then basically that part of the backlash, we all kind of think will not really be what affects The Whale or Brendan Fraser in the awards race.
It's not my concern, but I didn't hear these incendiary remarks. Are there any highlights? Is there anything I should hear?
There's something highlighted from a Polygon article, and I'm looking at a CNN article we could throw in the show notes that sort of sums up a lot of this backlash. And quote, Aronofsky
I have one. Oh, sorry. I was going to vamp, but you got there.
I got the quote. Aronofsky, there's a quote. Aronofsky turns up the Foley audio whenever Charlie is eating to emphasize the wet sound of lips smacking together. Plays ominous music under these sequences, so we know Charlie's doing something very bad indeed. In case viewers still don't get that they're supposed to find him disgusting, he recites an essay about Moby Dick and how a whale is a poor big animal with no feelings. So that is a quote from a Polygon article, and take that with a grain, or take that as you will.
And I will say, Pat, looking back at these shortlist for best sound, the whale is not on it.
Okay. So at the least we know that the sound engineers and experts who shortlist in that category, they didn't love the lip smacking and the sounds of sandwich eating and the sounds of chicken eating
and
that
vomiting.
make up, and the vomiting. They didn't love the vomiting sounds in the whale.
And the walking through the apartment. I mean, those were also sounds. I mean, that's the thing is, like, I don't know if they made a moral judgment there or they just made a technical judgment that they did not like those sounds and think that they were good. So that's not good for the whale, right?
Yeah, and it's not good for Brendan Fraser because,
what are you supposed to do? You're just supposed to have what are you supposed to do?
Such
if
an
your character is 600 plus pounds.
Oh,
is that not a big part of his life?
Oh, is it to like make the sound?
Should he keep eating and die next week?
Well, I mean, here's the question with this really is like, is this helpful for Brendan Fraser's chances? And I would say no. I mean, anytime there's any sort of like, this is a bad, morally reprehensible film, that's usually bad for a Oscar. I mean, sometimes, movies like Green Book, Crash, things like that, I mean, they still succeed despite people saying that they don't like it. But those were both like crowd pleasers. And this is not a crowd pleaser. So I think that's where the people enjoying a movie comes into it, even though we say when you do your pool and stuff, you shouldn't worry about that. It's about what the voting body thinks. And I think the voting body is probably either disturbed, disgusted, or scandalized by this movie not in a good way. So
Here's what I'll say about how the backlash could affect Brendan Fraser is that Brendan Fraser is going to be trying to win, partly based on his comeback, but partly based on he is portraying a person of a community. And if that community in real life is out there saying, we don't like the way he did it, it puts him on the defensive on the campaign trail. If you're him, you don't want to be in a position where he's got to make these speeches apologizing for the performance. So if that happens, then I think he's toast. And I think toast is not the food that Brendan Fraser wants for the whale. He does not want to be toast. So.
Okay, great. Real quick, just because we gotta talk a little bit about the gambling. I just want to run through what the lines are for some of these other categories.
Go for it.
For some of these other award shows that have just popped up on Bet US. So the Academy Awards, they've actually added some categories, but nothing, just the supporting actor and actress categories are now on Bet US. And Kiwi Kwan, yes, Running Away. And the best supporting actress category, no one's even begun to think about it. It's clear from the money lines. There's no favorite, and there's a lot to figure out.
So this is a good time to bet, though, Nick. So what are some of the juicy bets?
This is a good time to bet. Yeah, why don't we get into it?
Well, I'll throw out who I think, because I was looking at this before, and I got a juicy one that I'm gonna. The second we stop this recording, I'm putting some money on this.
Okay, I think I know what you're talking about.
Supporting
and you're talking
actress
about Jamie Curtis, Jamie Lee Curtis, for Best Supporting Actor, and she's currently at plus 450. But I think in our minds, she's in first place.
Yes, this is to me the juiciest bet that is up there right now. For her to be plus 450. And I do think so. You got Kerry Condon from Banshees is at plus 150. And to me right now, those are the only two that I could see winning is Kerry Condon from Banshees or Jamie Lee Curtis from Everything Everywhere All at Once. And I think with Jamie Lee Curtis, it's really going to be about her speeches and how she handles the press tour, because she could either be very quirky and charming, or she could kind of screw herself, and that remains to be seen.
I mean, I think the charm offensive will be very powerful here. I mean, she's a legacy. You know, she's a nepo baby, as they will.
And nepo babies are hot right now.
But I don't think there's going to be backlash there, because her mother has been dead for so long.
So long.
But I think she's a person that you're going to want to talk to at a party.
Yep. 100%. She's going to have the stories. So guys, I mean, do you think she is plus 450? Is that someone either of you are looking to put some money on Bet US?
Definitely put some money on that.
Yeah, I'm going to put some money on that. Clayton, have you made bets?
I have not made any bets, but I definitely would put money on that.
It's going to change very soon. So a little teaser for the next episode of this podcast.
Nice.
Is Clayton making some bets. That's going to be huge. Anyone else in that? Here's one other person I'm going to throw out there in that supporting actress category that I might put a couple of biddy coins on is Dolly De Leon from the film Triangle of Sadness is currently at plus 1,000. And she's not a guarantee to even be nominated, but she is someone who I think if she's in there could be very dangerous. You know, I've seen this film. She has got a real star part as a supporting actress. And she's, first, her biggest movie, but she's someone who people haven't seen before, but I really think that is someone worth putting a couple of bucks on, because plus 1,000 is tasty. And I think she's definitely a Cinderella story that could happen.
Well,
yeah, we just have to see how strong Triangle's actually going to be with the Academy. And right now that's so up in the air.
It's very up in the air. But I think those might be the two bets I'm going to make when we get off the air here, is I'm going to put some money on that supporting actress category, because the favorites definitely have not coalesced yet.
That's when you want to get in.
Yeah, and if you want to do some betting on the Critics' Choice Awards, just quickly, they have Martin McDonagh in first place for screenplay. That's just an easy 1-for-1. But no, that's tied with Everything Everywhere All at Once. It's just I hadn't seen any screenplay lines yet, so I wanted to mention it. And then everyone else is way far behind. Todd Field and Steven Spielberg are at plus 800. What do you guys think of that? Are these the two for original screenplay, period?
Probably. I mean, Todd Field could.
That's a little juicy.
Is Todd Field juicy?
A little juicy.
He is a little juicy, but here's why I think he doesn't really have much of a
love
chance.
That in the
it's
bedroom.
Because of the ambiguity of that script. I do think people will not respond as well to that, even though I love it and I think he deserves it. But I do think that he probably is not going to win. He'll get a nom, of course, but I don't think he's going to win.
But yeah, Critics' Choice. I mean, the thing is, Critics' Choice, critics love Tar. Of all the groups that are going to love Tar, the critics love it the most. So he could win. I'm still not sure if I'd advise putting valuable Bitcoin on that category.
When there's so many other things to bet on, like we were talking about with the best supporting, I mean, those are more, they feel more concrete
for sure
than something like that.
And anything that looks especially juicy to you, Nick, anything that if you bid into this bet, it'd be all over your chin.
Yeah, well, that Taylor Swift bet I was talking about last time that was plus 800, it moved to 1,200. So I put money on it when it was 1,200. because I just couldn't not. I thought that looked pretty juicy. I think it's so funny because I was talking about how anyone I know won't win, but then I was thinking like Janelle James for Abbott Elementary is plus 800 for best supporting actress in a television series for
Wait, we're talking TV now?
Huh?
We're talking TV now?
Yeah.
Whoa.
I'm her landlord. What do you want? She's we talked about her last time. I'm just saying, plus 800. I like it. I might throw some money on it.
I mean, they do let you put money on TV awards, so
they do.
Wow. So I don't know if I could get that low to bet on TV.
Yeah.
Next,
I don't know.
we're going to be promoting betting on the Webbies at this rate.
We haven't really talked the best lead actress. I know that that's not a category where there's any diversity. None. Zero. It's only the whitest women you can fucking think of.
Michelle Yeoh.
Frances
Michelle
McDormand.
Yeoh.
There's a couple. Yes, Michelle Yeoh is in consideration. I'm saying the winners. There hasn't been a winner of color since the exquisite Halle Berry got rape kissed on stage.
Wow, there has not been.
Can that be true?
The youngest male actor, best male actor winner of all time, by the way, Adrian Brody that year.
Wow.
That is true. And when there is diversity in that category, it's because like Brie Larson won. It's not because it's not the whitest white woman that ever whited. And there is just zero diversity there. And right now, Cate Blanchett is a big favorite for the Academy Awards and not a big favorite for a bunch of other awards. But I just wanted to mention that.
And she is British, being Australian.
British. She's British.
She's 100% British. Guys, let's get into our movie of the week, and then we got to get out of here.
All right.
Our movie of the week, Banshees of Inisherin.
Yeah, Banshees of Inisherin. Yeah.
On HBO Max, streaming now, has two big player performances. Colin Farrell as the lead and Brendan Gleeson as best supporting actor. That's how that shook out. Shooked out. Colin Farrell playing a Joey from Friends if he sincerely didn't get it and just played it real. And Martin McDonagh is the director, who also made the movie In Bruges with the same actors.
Which Colin Farrell won a Golden Globe Award for In Bruges. He won Best Actor in a Comedy. That's
not good news for him winning 2. Has anyone ever won 2 for the same type of role?
Jim Carrey,
not the same type of role at all.
Jim Carrey back in the day won a couple of those and did not get Oscar noms for them. He won The Truman Show. He won, I think, Eternal Sunshine, and then did not get Oscar noms. But we're a different case here. Colin Farrell is obviously getting the Oscar nom for this movie. And, I think when you talked about the actors from Banshees and awards chances, I think this is a 4-person movie because
Gary Condon and the weird kid from the Deer movie.
Joker.
Yep. Yes, and he's the new Joker. And his name is it Barry Keoghan? Yes, Barry Keoghan. This looks like this Banshees is going to be a movie that gets 2 supporting actor noms. I think that's very, very possible.
Yeah.
They're both just
that big of a role.
He
need one.
He has a big emotional scene. The scene when he talks to the sister by the river. And I don't know, do we do spoilers on this show? Or are we expecting everyone to see
maybe in the this is the end of the show. There's nothing else after this that's helpful. If you haven't watched this, go watch it. I think we can spoil. We're at the end, and we tell everyone the week before what movie we're doing, and every movie is available to watch streaming.
But Pat, I would say you can say it's just an emotional scene, and you don't have to give specifics.
Sure, but I'll say spoiler alert just in case, just to save our asses. You know, it's all boilerplate, so the lawyers are well protected. So spoiler alert, but he has an emotional scene with Carrie Condon. And I think he's got an Oscar clip. You know, that's the thing Barry Keoghan has going for him. He's got a scene that's already trending on Twitter because his movie's on HBO Max. So he's got a big scene. You know, here's the thing I'll throw out there. There is a world in which Barry Keoghan gets the nom 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 and Brendan Gleeson doesn't.
Oh,
I'm throwing that out there, you know, but
come on.
We're talking this movie. We've all seen it. Nick, do you love this movie? I know we're not critics, but did you like this movie? Did you love it? Did you hate it?
I don't know if I loved it. I think that there were elements that put me off at the beginning.
Okay.
You know, it's like Colin Farrell. We've seen him in so many Yorgos Lanthimos roles, and he's got he does like the Yorgos in those, and you're supposed to, and that's what you do in a Yorgos, and we appreciate it because those movies rule. But in this, when he starts, it just kind of seemed like he was doing a thing. He was doing like comedy Colin Farrell.
Okay.
And you know, like the way that George Clooney does comedy, George Clooney.
Ooh, that's damning.
That's damning. Oh my God.
Well, it is damning. I mean, that's what it evoked. It evoked Coen Brothers, George Clooney.
Nick going hard. Oh,
comedy George Clooney is so muggy, so big,
not a compliment.
So vile.
Where's my bucket?
And so that's like the first thing that's off-putting. And you know, the things that happen in the movie, they are fantastical, and you know, conclusions are met that you would be hard pressed to see an equivalent in real life.
Wow. So Nick, would you put his comedy at the level of Robert Downey Jr. presenting an award? Is it that bad?
You know what's also bad is it's just Martin McDonagh writing this character. He's so mean to the character. The character says so many like stupid, like hacky stand-up bits. And they are delivered with such earnestness by this guy desperately trying to win an Oscar. And it's so weird because it really is. It's like lines for Joey. That's what I kept thinking. I was just like, if you know how like in Friends, you know, they're like Joey's like, huh? And everyone's like, wait for it. And he's like, oh, because he's just dumber and it takes him longer.
Right.
It was like this movie that's like, wait for it. And then Joey's like, what? Forever.
So do you think that Matt LeBlanc could have done a better job in this part than Colin Farrell? Or
oh, man, we moved this to like a sleepy New England town. Yeah.
Wow.
Seaside town. I see him in this character, and honestly, I think this could be the comeback that Matt LeBlanc needs if they do a Banshees of Manchester,
like an American remake of this film.
To combine Manchester by the Sea and Banshees of Manchester.
I mean, Hollywood, Nick, get on it.
I mean, I think you've already said by saying it's George Clooney doing comedy, but do you think that now this lowers Colin Farrell's stock?
I will say that although that was my initial reaction, obviously it's a good performance, and it's not that bad. It's not George Clooney doing Cohen.
Okay.
It's just not. It's not the performance I thought, because there's been a lot of build up because so much has happened already, and I had not seen this movie, and so he's a fucking front runner.
Right. So you expected more when you hear this guy's probably going to win. You're thinking, you know,
I expected more. And also Brendan Gleeson's temperature isn't raised enough to get to win an Oscar.
Here's what I mean. That does go to why I'm saying Barry Keoghan could end up getting the nomination, and Brendan Gleeser gets frozen out.
It's Barry Keoghan.
Barry Keoghan.
Are you sure of that?
There's an O instead of an E.
No,
right,
I know,
like
but
Matt Groening is an OE, and
yeah,
I just didn't know if you knew it, because you'd heard it.
I've heard it. Listen, we might both be wrong. I don't think it's Keoghan because
it's more like Barry Keoghan.
I think that's what it is. I think Nick nailed it.
So I think Barry Keoghan is maybe going to get the nom, and Gleason doesn't because Barry. I'll just call him Barry going forward, so
Barry.
we avoid this.
Well, buddy, just what if we could bet on that? That's I love this bet. If we could bet that,
I put some Bitcoin on it because I do think I'm right, but I do think Barry. You're right. Brendan Gleeson doesn't necessarily have the big explosive scene. His performance is very reserved. It's a great performance.
Yeah, his temperature gets raised at one point.
Oh, spoiler alert. But yeah, Barry has the clip in a way that I'm not sure if Brendan has the clip. So we could be looking at a surprise nomination there. What do we think of Kerry Condon, who plays Colin Farrell's sister, who is not someone I'd really been familiar with, but I guess she's on Better Call Saul? Clayton, that's a big show for you. Not that we talk TV, but you've seen her on that show.
Yeah, I mean, she didn't stand out to me in any way. She is a very nominal character in that universe, so she to me doesn't stand out for that. So I mean, all I have is what she's done in this film.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, in this film,
she's best known for Rome.
Okay.
A million years ago,
which I'm sure has been yanked off of HBO by the CEO David Zaslav. I'm sure he's yanked
It's
Rome.
got if it might be
he's Greek.
Just in a deep dark corner somewhere that he's trying to get to it. It's hiding right now, but it will get yanked.
Nick, do you think what did you think of her performance? I liked it a lot.
I loved her in
movie.
John from Cincinnati. I'll tell you that much.
We all did. That's how we all met.
I thought her performance was inconsequential.
Okay.
I mean, I didn't realize that she was even in consideration until now.
Huh.
It never occurred to me while I was watching the movie that she was doing a remarkable job.
Interesting.
I think that Jamie Lee Curtis, you know how excited I was. I turned to Lyra while we were watching Everything Everywhere All at Once, and I said, Jamie Lee Curtis goes ugly one role and then immediately gets nominated for an Oscar.
I mean, that's what you got to do.
That's
I refuse to go ugly, so I'm not going to win.
No, of course you don't.
No,
that's why you got that hat.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I liked her more than you did. I do think this is one of those cases of seeing something in the theater versus at home. I think the Colin Farrell performance plays really well in a movie theater, which is why I saw it. And I do think her performance plays really well because she gets a lot of scenes opposite Colin Farrell, and their stuff really plays well with a crowd. So, that it's all in the stew. Obviously, the voters are going to be seeing it in a mix of ways. But I think if you get Banshees in front of more screenings for these voters, both of them have a better shot.
Will. I mean, it's a movie that everyone knows. Okay, I got to see that one. But I do think Kerry Condon is going to get a little goodwill from people who think she's Carrie Coon, because I thought that before the movie started.
It never hurts to have people think you're other people, because
they'll condom makes you think of sex.
Yeah, but it also
people don't like condoms.
People
they
don't like condoms.
Condone it.
Yeah. So she's got a lot going for her and against her based on that name and not being that well known.
If something doesn't upset someone on like a religious level, I don't think it matters. Like when we were talking about the whale before. Like when fat people get upset, it just doesn't matter because there's no one weekly like trying to rile them up about it. So if he was like fat and then like ate across, I think he would have no chance.
Yeah, he did eat
We
several.
don't need to go back to that. We've been over an hour.
He ate several Butterfingers in a row, but I don't think he ever held them up in the sign of a cross, so he's probably okay there.
Okay. Woo! All right, guys. That is our
Yeah.
show. Is there anything left to say, guys? Do you have anything? Oh, next week's movie. I was gonna say let's make it Glass Onion and a Knives Out mystery, because that is coming out today, the day this episode drops. But you had said something earlier. Also, we have not done Maverick, Top Gun. But
we can do Maverick when it drops. I mean, it's also going to drop around
Christmas.
Christmas.
So hasn't it been out on
it's
HBO
not streaming,
for a month?
It's not streaming for quote unquote free yet. It's still PVOD. It's coming to Paramount Plus.
Is that right?
Over Christmas.
Okay.
It
So
will
let's
come
do
out
this
after Glass Onion. So let's do Glass Onion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then is there something like that we all plan on seeing over Christmas? I think Babylon is something that I would like to take my family to go see. Hollywood Babylon is Lyra's literal favorite book. And she's sure she's going to be disappointed.
Right? Author?
Yeah, I don't know. It's not my favorite book.
So yeah, I think
my
Babylon's
book is The Cat in a Hat.
I think
Starring Pat.
I think Babylon is a good one to do in a few weeks. But yes, next episode, let's do Glass Onion and Knives Out mystery. It's going to be the biggest thing on Netflix. Everyone's going to watch with their family over Christmas. Let's do it. For sure.
Yeah. Okay. It will be the biggest news. You're right. Okay. Guys, thank you so much. Check out the patreon.com/getrichnick for early drops, video,